Hey, what's up everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so nothing good ever comes from saying, oh, an injury's not that bad before you actually know. That's what I did with Dennis Schroeder's finger injury. 3 to 4 weeks, you guys. He had to go under the knife for that finger. I was hopeful. I spoke, and I shouldn't have. So that's what I have to say, man. I jinxed him. It's sort of like when you know say, so, oh, someone's got a perfect percentage going to the line, and of course they miss it right on cue. Yeah, I think that might be a little bit what happened there. Sorry, Dennis. But anyway, so we wish him the best. Of course, this gives him an opportunity to kind of get the rest that I think he ultimately needed. Probably a lot more than necessary, unfortunately, but. He's been through a lot, I think, with the visa situation, of course, playing through the summer. So his body will get to rest. Hopefully he can stay in some type of shape. And, of course, he'll get out of game shape, which is bad. But it does make up for the lost time that he missed during the summer in terms of the rest on the body. Hopefully it means that he can get into the swing of things by All-Star break and be a good player for us in the playoffs if we're going to keep him for that. But this is something I also want to say about the Lakers, which is something I'm starting to look at. We have a tendency of letting people walk for nothing. It doesn't get a lot of talk on this channel, and I'm not really sure if it's done by design or not. You know, I don't know if it's considered a mistake or not, because there are ways to do so with it being within your strategy. But I just often find that the Lakers are doing this, and it is leading to certain problems that we have with our roster, I believe. Not necessarily because those pieces are leaving and therefore we have holes, but because what we're often doing is letting pieces leave and not retaining value for them, so we can't get the quality players that would ultimately be there if we were to get the value for them. Say, for example, we let Caruso walk. Maybe if we could have did a sign and trade of some sort with the Bulls, maybe we could have already gotten a player like Kobe White, or maybe we could add some pieces that maybe we could have already gotten Troy Brown, of whom we just got in the offseason. Those type of things that are just completely by example, completely hypothetical. But what I'm saying to you is that's kind of what the Lakers are leaving on the table, whatever the value would actually be. In real life, they're not getting anything because they're letting these guys walk after their contract expires. And so it's something that I think the Lakers should really consider not letting happen. At least for the next year or two, next short-term time frame, you know, whatever the rest of LeBron's tenure is going to be, I don't think we should just let value walk. Now, if it's somebody we don't mind waiving, obviously, yeah, of course, but guys like Julius Randle, Alex Caruso, you know, in this case, it would probably be somebody like Dennis Schroeder or Patrick Beverley. I just don't think it makes us better letting them walk without getting at least a second-round pick for them, even if it's cash consideration, something that just represents something on the cap for when they leave. Because although letting people walk can be a good thing, like for example, if we don't get a trade for Russell Westbrook, him coming off of our books at $47 million can be looked at as a big plus for us. So in that case, maybe you don't want to retain value because it's $47 million worth of salary. You know what I'm saying? Wherever he's going, he's not going to be signing for $47 million at that point. So your sign and trade ain't going to get you no $47 million anyway. But in any rate, the point is, in certain situations, it's not necessary. But in others, it may be. In a situation where, like Alex Caruso's, yeah, we should have gotten something for that player. I think about a guy like Malik Monk. Should have got something for Malik Monk. I said that at the trade deadline last year, and that was what I was really upset at Rob Pelinka for not doing. Now, again, I have to say, I don't know if that's strategy or not. So I don't know if I'm right for being mad at Rob Pelinka for it, but what I can say is, boy, I don't see the fruit in the strategy and letting all of these guys who are as talented as Malik Monk and Alex Caruso particularly walk. I can understand not re-signing them, but I don't understand not getting something back. I don't get that. And I think that's one of the problems that we're running into when we have the roster turnover that we were discussing in my NBA chat video, as well as some of the other things that I've been just mulling over. It's why. It's because we're not getting back the type of value for these guys that are really, really good. You know what I mean? Good role players, and we're trying to find them again. You know, we're looking for Alex Caruso again in some of the guys that we're picking up now. You know, Christie and you know, obviously Austin Reeves. We're hoping that those guys develop back up to that level. That's something we should be doing anyway. But also on top of that, we should have gotten back a Kobe White or something for Caruso. At least something to show that we had that value and that we didn't completely let it escape our franchise. So that's important to me. I think the Lakers need to take a look at that, because I really don't see any reason at all for letting Malik Monk particularly walk. And I'll tell you why. Because we were not a playoff team at the trade deadline last year. I think it was pretty obvious that we weren't going to do anything at all at that point. So there should have been no reason to keep a piece like Malik Monk, who all he was going to do was help you win. We weren't winning. The most important thing for us to have done was to turn our attention to this season and retain some value for that player at that time. Second round pick, cash considerations, some type of player that would have helped us this year on a 2-year deal or something. We should have made sure we got something from Malik Monk, because now look at him. He's in Sacramento doing whatever, you know. He's off doing his own thing. And where are we at without him? And what else don't we have? What we need in return for him. So it's like these little things. And you look at why LeBron James has only one NBA Finals appearance with the Lakers. These little things are why. I'll be honest with you. As far as I can tell, these are the little things that ultimately cater to why we haven't been able to pull ourselves up as strongly as we needed to. Not to mention bringing in Russell Westbrook, which was bad for basketball reasons, I think. But even so, you know, you just look at the other little moves. Maybe we could have overcome the Russell Westbrook trade sooner had we had more picks to attach to possibly trading him. If we had 4 picks, 2 picks wouldn't be nothing to let go of. You see what I'm saying? The 2 picks are so held tight because they're the only ones we got. That wouldn't be the only ones we got if we would have let something come back for Julius Randle, something come back for Alex Caruso, and something come back for Malik Monk. Those 3 players add up to more than a first-round pick. A first-round pick and something else probably you can get for those 3 players, depending on the year. Maybe not this upcoming year, because obviously first-round picks are worth $1 million more than usual, but like in most years, you can get a pick and a half for that. So that's value the Lakers just let walk. Now, it's why certain players aren't as good as they need to be. It's why certain guys aren't on multiple year deals at affordable prices. These are the type of things that you would have gotten back if you would have played those contracts those ways. So yeah, I just, you know, people are looking at finger pointing and all of this. I just think you just mismanage certain things, you know, in the presence of trying to build your team. Yes, it is hard from where we were at, but not as hard as we made it for ourselves with some of the decisions we made, some of the, I think, you know, questionable strategy, I guess you could say, in terms of how we handled those assets. You know what I mean? Trying to expedite the process, not knowing what LeBron was going to do in terms of extensions, so kind of doing certain things that just didn't help. And now I'm looking at the Lakers and I'm saying, can we stop the bleeding on that type of thing now? Can we turn our attention to understanding that we've been doing that and not anymore? And then as it pertains to this season, acknowledging that at some point, even though we're not at that point, and we hope to never reach this point, but at some point we need to realize there is a threshold line between when your season is lost and when you still got a chance. And once we get to that point, we got to start strategizing for next season, or we're going to find ourselves in the same situation we're in this year because of it. It's too much short-sighted Laker nature going on. Too much short-sighted Laker nature. That's exactly what I'm going to call it. Short-sighted, because you're too busy trying to do everything for Bron, but you don't realize that you're a little too short-sighted in regards to even handling Bron, because he don't know how long he wants to play. So every time you do this 1 year thing, 1 year, with the intent of it being something that you can tear down, you got to understand that he may just choose to want to play another year. You got to do this over and over again. At some point in time, you got to look at him and say, okay, we got to start sacrificing some of that so that we can have the sustainability necessary so that you can keep coming back every year if you want to, and if not you, then somebody else. But if we keep doing this for you and we keep mismanaging our assets because of this timeline nonsense, we're never going to dig ourselves out of this hole, and we're never going to be good enough for any superstar to win here. And so that's really what it's about. You know, that's what I'm looking at anyway. So yeah, man, I guess this is a roundabout way of me saying I want to see Rob Pelinka strategize in a way that helps us keep our assets a bit better and helps us get more versatile players in place. I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, but I just think that these little things are why. You look at the Zubats trade a couple years ago. These little things, you know, if you play those things differently, those players are upgraded into better talent, just simply better talent in some of these areas. So it's what I know, man. When you play it right, you get things to fall in place for you. And when you play it wrong, you struggle. And that's, so we see it. If you look around the teams who are struggling right now, if they don't have a crop of young players that they really, really like, chances are they've done things the wrong way. That's what you see all over the league. Either teams that have really, really young talent, contenders, obviously, teams that are ready to go, or us, Brooklyn, teams ain't did it right. Just flat out skip steps trying to get things, and now they're in a place where they can't get themselves quite to where they want to be, or they're just not good enough at all, period. One or the other. So, you know, that's why I try to speak against. That's what my channel is for, to try to help whoever's watching see what it is that I'm seeing in that way. And hopefully we can get just overall a better understanding of what it is we want to see from our organizations, I guess is what I'll say. So that's where my head is right now. Hopefully our guy didn't shoot and get, you know, this is something that lingers throughout the season, something that keeps him from shooting as well as he needs to shoot, because that can be a big deal as well with a finger injury. What else, man? That's pretty much what I wanted to say. Of course, we got the game coming up on Tuesday, and you know, we don't know exactly what our lineups will be and anything like that. I don't really want to get into the game itself because there's still too much to learn. But you know, at this time, this is pretty much what was on my mind. Just want to see the Lakers make good decisions with the asset class that we have. Whatever pack of assets we have, we need to make sure that we don't let it fly out of here for nothing. So that's Rob. That's on Rob, I believe, you know, and it's on everybody else around him to let him do what needs to be done so that these mistakes don't have to get made. Because that's a big part of it. I could easily say, Rob, and then he looks at me and says, well, this person wanted this, and that person wanted that, and this person wanted that, and if it's a bunch of that going on, then it's kind of hard for him to operate properly and do what he needs to do to ensure all these things get taken care of. So that's what I want to say, man. Let's just have a realistic timeline for what we're doing. Let's start plotting out where that threshold actually is, whether it be obviously it has to be before the trade deadline if you're going to be, you know, looking at that line as a means of when to start doing things differently trade-wise. But you're going to have to do it, because if not, you're going to look up next year and you ain't going to be good enough next year too. So bump that entirely, man. That's what I got to say. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.